A gleeful Donald Trump. I don't really know how else to say it. The supposed anti-war president took to Truth Social yesterday to announce that the United States is joining the war with Iran. Now, if I'm blunt with you, blunt or frank, right? Or Joe, if I'm blunt with you, these are not the posts of a stable leader. These are more the rantings of a man who has dragged the United States into a new war and now thinks that he's the lead actor in a movie about it. So once again, let's go to Truth Social. We already looked at this first statement, and then I'll give you the big picture of all of the statements. Trump said, "We now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. Iran had good sky trackers and other defensive equipment, plenty of it, but it doesn't compare to American-made, conceived, and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the good old USA." So this was Trump's first post acknowledging we are now involved in this war. This is Trump at his Trumpiest. He's bragging about military hardware like he's, selling a used jet at Mar-a-Lago. Forget the fact that this statement confirms U.S. involvement in the war without congressional authorization. Forget that it directly contradicts his administration's earlier claims that Israel is acting completely alone. What matters to Trump is that we have the better bombs. The stuff is ours. We can flex. And historically, this has been the language that precedes escalation. You think about uh, um, uh, former officials bragging about bombing Vietnam back to the Stone Age, for example, or Bush landing on the aircraft carrier with the mission accomplished banner. This is a dangerously toxic mix of insecurity combined with bravado that gets people killed. Okay, so that's Trump's initial post. Then he puts up another one. This is unhinged stuff, my friends. Quote, "We know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. He is an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out, kill, at least not for now. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. Thank you for your attention to this matter." Trump openly threatening to assassinate Iran's supreme leader. He's toying with it. We know where you are, but we're not going to kill you for now. And it's sort of he's floating the idea of political assassinations on social media with coy, almost joking language, and then going, but not for now, but not yet. In most other contexts, this would be a diplomatic crisis by itself, right? Casually musing about killing a head of state. You don't toss out kill in parentheses like a YouTube comment unless you're actively trying to provoke a war, or worse, trying to look like a warlord for the sake of looking strong. And notice the framing. Trump says our patience is wearing thin. This is an ultimatum of sorts. It's sort of like Cold War type rhetoric, but it's being issued instead of by trained diplomats behind closed doors. It's coming from the guy who was like, maybe I'll buy Greenland or take it by force. It's coming from that guy. And then finally, Donald Trump with an all caps troth post, unconditional surrender. Trump calling for Iran's unconditional surrender on Truth Social. No diplomatic negotiation, no nuance, just a blunt demand lifted from, World War II propaganda posters. So if you know anything about how peace is made, you would look at this and go, that's not how it's made. This is how conflicts spiral out of control. Truman didn't demand unconditional surrender on Facebook. There was no Facebook at the time. Eisenhower was not issuing ultimatums by meme. And the deeper danger, of course, is that Trump isn't just escalating militarily here. He's really cornering himself rhetorically, because when you start publicly demanding unconditional surrender in this way, anything less looks like weakness. And you put yourself in a position, you're setting the stakes so high that it becomes harder to have a diplomatic exit. So this is more than just unhinged posts. These are strategically catastrophic posts. They are signaling to Iran, de-escalation is off the table. If you are Iran and you hear that, it would be logical to say, well, if de-escalation is so clearly off the table, we might as well continue to escalate. And then this all goes back to when the MAGA people elected a guy who sees military conflict as content, threatening it, saying you will do it, that you won't do it. We're not thinking here in the Trump administration about what is the cost in terms of lives, what about treaties, what about regional stability. It's likes, retweets, narrative arcs, and being the big, strong alpha. At the beginning of this, I told you, Trump told us that he was going to keep us out of war. Trump supporters believed that he was going to keep us out of war. And now he's bragging about getting us into a war, and he's enjoying it. So we are going to continue our coverage of this conflict after the break. The Tucker Carlson, Ted Cruz explosion, which is really a microcosm of the MAGA civil war over this, and expanded coverage on the David Pakman Show Substack. Get it at davidpakman.substack.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll be back. If you or someone you love is on Medicare, this is important. The Department of Justice filed a major fraud complaint against 3 of the biggest Medicare brokers in the country. These brokers pretended to offer unbiased advice while secretly steering seniors into plans that paid them the greatest kickbacks. This is why I recommend Chapter. After seeing their own families get scammed, they created a better way. Chapter's fully independent and the only national Medicare advisor that searches every plan available to find the one that actually fits your needs. They advocate for you, not the insurance companies. No steering, no pressure, just expert help completely free. Chapter has saved the average senior over $1,000 a year, and they are a free resource for my audience. So if you want help with Medicare, give Chapter a call by dialing pound 250 and saying the keyword Medicare. You'll talk to a real person who will help you figure out exactly which plan is right for you, or go to askchapter.org/Pakman. The link is in the description.